Now on CoastTV News.
Beach access update. As surf conditions improve, what are coastal communities and state parks reporting for swimming and fishing?
Seaford sales shift. The action scheduled to take place tonight that could change marijuana policy in the Sussex County city.
Waking up to temperatures in the 50s and 60s, only a taste of what's to come in the days ahead. An absolutely terrific Tuesday, and then followed by a midweek masterpiece.
Bicycling showdown. Why Ocean City could push back against a state of Maryland policy that allows bikes to ride on sidewalks.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Tuesday, August 26th, I should say, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
As we move closer to the holiday weekend, we're gearing up for one more big push at our beaches.
I know, but this morning I was shocked. My car said 62 degrees.
When's the last time it was in the low 60s?
I don't know.
Spring?
Probably springtime, but yesterday afternoon it was really warm outside.
It was, yeah.
The pool was busy again. People are just getting in those last couple
I was a
days.
little surprised how hot it did get yesterday, but Chris, you got a terrific day in store for us today.
I mean, not much to complain about here in the weather department over the next really 7 to 10 days. We're looking at an extended stretch of really nice weather. Live look into Salisbury. Temperatures are right around 64 there, and you can see a few 50s on the board. 59 Delmarva, 59 Laurel, 55 there, the cool spot in Harrington. Milder at the coast near the water. We're at 74 Lewis to 71 Rehoboth and 71 in Ocean City. Dew points. Remember yesterday we had dew points to start in the 60s and 70s. Well, we have drier air in place, and those dew points are in the 50s. So high pressure is going to be building in. There's the cold front that pushed through yesterday, and that is off the coast. And this high pressure system is really going to be our friend here for the rest of the week. We're looking at an absolutely terrific day ahead with plenty of sunshine, and it gets even better. We're looking at highs in the mid to upper 70s as we go into Wednesday. And rain, yes, going to be hard to come by here really over the next 10 days as we see this dry weather continue. So beginning in the upper 50s to lower 60s this morning, winds relatively calm. And we are looking at a mostly sunny afternoon with highs rising to right around 80 degrees this afternoon. And we still do have a moderate risk of rip currents at the beaches, so keep that in mind. And we're going to continue to deal with some seas anywhere between about 2 to 3 feet today. But the good news is we'll see a low risk of rip currents as we go into the middle to the end of week, and that is going to set the stage for pretty nice end to the unofficial end of summer, I should say, as Labor Day weekend approaches. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full 7-day forecast. Matt.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour, we have an update on Delmarva's beaches, access to those beaches. At last check, a number of communities have dialed back some restrictions. Ocean City is allowing surfing with a leash, bodyboarding, but only wading knee-deep for swimming. According to the Delaware Seashore State Park, all surf fishing drive-ons are now open. That includes both Delaware Seashore and Fenwick Island State Park. However, Navy Crossing drive-on at Cape Henlopen State Park, that is still closed.
Happening tonight, the city of Seaford is moving closer to permitting retail adult use marijuana sales. The second reading of an amendment to Seaford Code on marijuana sales is scheduled during the city council meeting. It was just 2 years ago the city banned marijuana production and sales. Tonight's meeting is at 7 o'clock at the Seaford City Hall.
It continues to be a controversial issue. While the drug is legal in the state, many Delaware communities have banned marijuana. Frankfort and Georgetown allow it. You may recall we just did a story about a new dispensary on Route 113. Other dispensaries are already set up in Sussex County. In Lewis and Rehoboth Beach, there are dispensaries, but important to note here, those are on highways and not within city limits.
New this morning, the Coast Guard unloaded a record haul of illegal drugs in Florida Monday, $473 million worth of it. The drugs included more than 61,000 pounds of cocaine and 14,000 pounds of marijuana. According to the Coast Guard, that cocaine could supply fatal overdoses to 23 million people, or put another way, the entire population of Florida. The drugs came from 19 different interceptions in the eastern Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea between June 26th and August 18th.
All right, we're now getting a live look at Washington, D.C. this morning. The president is ramping up his crackdown on crime, signing a series of executive orders, and after deploying And arming National Guard troops in the nation's capital, President Trump is threatening to do the same in other cities.
And these cities include Chicago and Baltimore. NBC's Alice Barr shows us the possibility is drawing sharp criticism from state and local officials.
This morning, new signs President Trump's expanding crackdown on crime could mean a growing National Guard presence in more big cities, already armed on the streets of Washington, D.C., with Chicago potentially next in line.
We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do. Chicago desperately needs help.
The president signing an executive order tasking his defense secretary with creating specialized National Guard units to be trained and ready to help with domestic law enforcement. Chicago's mayor pointing to a 30% drop in murders, robberies, and shootings from last year, though the city is still averaging more than one killing a day, with 3 homicides and 27 people shot just this weekend.
Our communities need more federal resources for public safety. There's no question about that. But unsolicited, unwarranted military takeover is not needed.
The Illinois governor calling the potential takeover
a dangerous power grab,
and referring to President Trump as a wannabe dictator, the president pushing back.
A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense.
All as President Trump signed 2 more crime-related executive orders, one threatening to revoke federal funding from states that offer cashless bail, arguing that lets offenders commit more crimes. The second aimed at turning the burning of American flags from a First Amendment-protected act into a crime for inciting a riot. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening today, Ocean City officials are set to discuss keeping bikes off the sidewalk, and here's the reason. Starting October 1st, the state of Maryland will allow bikes to ride on sidewalks, but the town is considering its own rule to negate that. According to Ocean City, most of the sidewalks are narrow and too busy. People living in OC are looking for clarity on the issue.
I do think they should be allowed, or better yet, even though there is a designated lane, I feel like, if they had something a little bit more specific just for bikers. So I think the bike lane's for the bus as well, I'm not sure. So that to me, if they just had something specifically for bikes, it would be extremely helpful, I think.
The council will discuss this at 1 p.m. An update this morning on the boil water advisory for parts of Ocean City. This is if you live in Ocean City near 120th Street on the Bayside. According to officials, the water main broke is now fixed, and according to the advisory, it is still in effect until further notice. This includes all water used for food prep, teeth brushing, ice making, and drinking until further notice. According to OC, the water may be used for bathing and washing without boiling.
Ocean View is responding to concerns raised by the ACLU of Delaware. The ACLU is asking the town to repeal a new ordinance on regulating public assemblies. They say it violates the First Amendment rights, and according to town officials, Ordinance 405, which was adopted in July, sets up a permitting process for public gatherings on town-owned property. The town says the goal is to protect health, safety, and welfare, and now Mayor John Reddington says the ordinance is added to the September Council agenda to consider its repeal.
New this morning, today is Women's Equality Day in Delaware. The picture you see here is from Delaware's first major suffrage parade, with 400 women marching through downtown Wilmington, according to the National Park Service. Despite these efforts, Delaware's legislature voted against ratifying the 19th Amendment in 1920. It wasn't until March 6, 1923, that Delaware officially added its support, and in 2023, August 26th, became officially known as Women's Equality Day in Delaware.
Governor Matt Myers signed 11 new bills that claim to improve public health in Delaware. The big one, Pre-Authorization Act, that's meant to cut down on insurance delays so patients can get care faster. Other new laws target prescription costs, boost mental health services, and protect health care workers. And for an in-depth look at the legislation, you can head to the article that's on CoastTV.com.
In Maryland, officials are expanding the fight against substance use in the state, this time focusing on rural communities. According to officials, the Rural Advancement for Maryland Peers Program, or RAMP, is a $1.6 million grant program to strengthen the state's peer recovery workforce. According to Governor Moore, the initiative aims to give rural communities the same access to recovery resources as the rest of the state.
Salisbury Police Department is preparing to launch a brand new mobile app. The goal here? To keep people better informed, connected, and safe. The app is free to download from both the App Store and Google Play, and the police say more details will soon be released.
And we're just getting started this morning on CoastTV News Today.
Now, coming up, Labor Day dart service. We'll tell you what's running and what's going away for the season.
Also, park plan problems, why not some locals in Dover are against a new potential playground.
But first, storm damage to Delmarva. We'll show you the impacts of Hurricane Erin and how communities are recovering. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva. Beautiful start to our morning, stepping outside the door this morning with temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We're holding at 64 in Salisbury. Dew points are 55 in the 50s, so we're very comfortable out there with that northwest wind flow. We're at 57 in Long Neck, 59 in Redden, a little milder at the coast, 73 Lewis to 71 in Bethany Beach. Well, the cold front came through yesterday, bringing us that cool, drier air, and it's only going to be getting better here in the days ahead as high pressure builds in, and this has been a rather cool month. You see all the blue there, those are all below normal days. We had that one stretch where we were above normal, but overall we've had some cool days, 69 there on the 19th, and we actually hit 88 right ahead of the front yesterday. But overall, we're going to be ending the month of August and beginning the month of September on a cool note as we see those below average temperatures continue. And then there's that 5-day temperature trend. We're at 80 today, average high 85, and we're going to be in the upper 70s come tomorrow and generally in the lower 80s by the end of the week. Coming up, we'll talk about that all-important Labor Day weekend forecast and that full 7-day. Elisa?
Thank you, Chris. On your screen right now are images of Chincoteague post-Hurricane Erin. Tons of tire tracks and construction vehicles around as they work to repair the parking lot. Officials say the hope is to have some access available before Labor Day weekend. Beach Road is still closed, but the gate to the Wildlife Loop will remain open to drivers so they can get to the Swans Cove. That trail is about half a mile walk, but it leads to the beach. Access will be reassessed once parking at the Tom's Cove Beach reopens. Remember that lifeguards are only on duty during weekends this time of year.
A rare case of New World screwworm is confirmed in Maryland. It came from a patient who recently traveled to El Salvador, and according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, no information is released about the patient's condition. The parasite, which was basically eliminated from the U.S. roughly half a century ago, is a larval version of a fly that nests in warm-blooded animals. This gets a little gross here, and then slowly eats them alive. Officials say there is no significant threat to the general U.S. population, but it can pose potential problems for some animals and foods.
Losing de minimis could cause maximum problems for companies and online sellers like Amazon Haul, Etsy, and Shopify. The de minimis exemption allows goods that are worth $800 or less to come into the U.S. tariff-free. Now that exemption is set to expire on Friday. This change will likely affect discount retailers and online marketplaces, which have U.S. consumers connected to businesses across the globe. Analysts say some companies are expected to pass the higher tariff expenses to the consumer.
The company behind Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, and Keurig Coffee is set to split into a soft drink company and a coffee group. That's according to a joint statement published Monday. Keurig Dr. Pepper will acquire JDE Peet's, whose brands include Kenco and Peet's Coffee. This is an $18 billion deal, and once the transaction is complete, it creates two businesses, a beverage company and a global coffee company.
Well, we are beginning the day along the coast in the upper 60s in Rehoboth Beach, 68, Sunrise 625. We're starting in the upper 50s away from the coast, and it gets even better in the days ahead. Coming up, we'll talk about a beautiful stretch of weather taking us into the holiday weekend when CoastTV News Today continues.
Time is 5:18, and we are checking out the live pre-dawn scene in Delaware's capital city of Dover. And Moments ago, Chris, you showed those cooler days that we had this month. Looks like we got another one in store for today.
Yeah, we definitely do. It's been a cooler than average August here on the peninsula, and it's going to continue really to round out the month. And you can see temperatures this morning in the 50s away from the coast. We're at 57 in Long Neck, 55 Harrington, 59 Laurel, and 59 in Delmarva. Clear skies and the calm winds allowing for temperatures to fall. And you can see those winds relatively calm for most of Delmarva. Dew points are in the 50s, so we're in that comfortable range, and we're going to stay in that range here at least through Friday. We'll tap into a little bit of humidity there, not really much, and then another cold front's going to be pushing through Friday, bringing in more dry air just in time for the holiday weekend. So we're clear and dry. There's the front that came through yesterday, pushing well off the coast, and high pressure is going to settle in here over the Great Lakes and then advance eastward here through the rest of the week. Rain chances, yes, they're going to be hard to come by. Could see an isolated shower late Thursday through Friday with the passage of that front, and we're looking pretty dry as we stretch into the end of the week. So an absolutely terrific day. Still do have that moderate risk of rip currents as the seas begin to calm. We'll have a low risk tomorrow and plenty of sunshine through midweek. And yes, those highs 70s, 80s, and overnight lows maybe in the upper 40s come Thursday morning. We're at 80 this afternoon in Lewis and Georgetown, 78 Cambridge, 80 Denton, 80 Princess Anne to 81 in Snow Hill. So there's the mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. Clear skies through the overnight as we dip into the lower to mid 50s away from the coast. And then by our Wednesday, we keep the sunshine in play with highs in the upper 70s. And then by Thursday morning, some areas, especially across the eastern shore, western Sussex, Kent County, upper 40s potentially. Yeah, very chilly start to the day, and Thursday we're right up to near 80 as we keep the sunshine and dry weather in play. There's the high pressure system pushing virtually right over us as we push into Wednesday and Thursday, and then it'll kind of slide off the coast as we go into the end of the week. So Chincoteague temperatures generally in the upper 70s to lower 80s Wednesday through your Friday. Fenwick Island 78 Wednesday to 78 Thursday. Ocean City looking very nice here over the next few days as we get that rip current risk to a low status there as we go into Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies through Wednesday into Lewis and Rehoboth, right around 80 through your Thursday. So there's the front pushing through on late Thursday through Friday. Not a whole lot of moisture associated with this front, but as we go into Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at plenty of sunshine and beautiful temperatures. 80 degrees today, an absolutely terrific day. We're at 57 for your overnight, a fall-like chill in the air, and 78 into our Wednesday as those temperatures stay below that average high of 85 degrees. Could see a late shower Friday. Not completely sold on it. I think we're going to generally be sunny and dry on Friday, and then the weekend looking pretty nice with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
Thank you, Chris. Got a potential pop-up park that may come to Dover. That's drawing mixed reactions from neighbors. We heard from people in Dover that the area has a number of safety issues, while some others say the city needs more spaces for children.
My opinion is we don't need playground equipment at either park. There's enough parks locally that people can utilize.
Well, the development is going young again. It was young when we first moved in, and then it aged out. And we are getting a lot more kids, and I think we need it because the kids need someplace to go.
And Dover officials say alternative sites such as Mayfair Park are also under consideration. The survey on the park will remain open until August 30th. Responses will help the city decide on the next steps.
Up next on Coast TV News today, Labor Day Dart Service will tell you what you need to know about operations for the holiday. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back. This just in, an update on DART services for Labor Day. According to the agency, Matt, I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, there will also be certain routes available for Newcastle County. DART's beach bus routes and the 305 beach connection will also run, but it is the final day of service for both seasonal options.
All right, slowly but surely, conditions in the water are getting better. We are heading into Labor Day weekend soon. The weather today, it's perfect for a beach day.
It looks fantastic, and hopefully the swimming conditions improve in time for the big holiday weekend ahead of us, Chris.
Yeah, we're getting there. You know, the seas, as we've been saying, take a while to kind of calm after a massive storm like we had with Erin all the way out in the Atlantic. Taking a live look into Ocean City, we're holding at 70 degrees there, dew point 57, so it is a very comfortable start to our Tuesday. But yeah, there's that moderate risk of rip currents today. Waves anywhere between about 2 to 3 feet, winds out of the north at about 10 to 12 miles an hour, and we'll have that moderate risk Fenwick Island, Ocean City, right down through Chincoteague. There's the plenty of sunshine through Ocean City. Highs today, upper 70s. Fenwick Island looking really nice through today, and we make our way up to Lewis. Wall-to-wall sunshine, 78. And maybe taking a stroll through Penny Lane there, and Rehoboth looking very nice with a high around 80 degrees. In the Bay, we're looking very nice with temperatures right in the upper 70s, and Crisfield the same, right around 76 through about 5 o'clock today. Get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Broxton Dallas Federico. We'll have a look at that 7-day in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, Seaford weighs in on weed. We'll tell you when the city is set to discuss regulations for the now legal drug in Delaware.
Also, OC looks to ban bikes on sidewalks, that is, and we'll tell you how a new Maryland law is sparking possible action in the town.
And in Eastern Shore on immigration, Maryland Senator Angela Alsobrooks visited our coast to express concerns in Wycomico County. We'll tell you how the county executive says it will interact with ICE. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Deportation drama, the latest in the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and the reaction from Maryland officials on the Eastern Shore.
Bike battle in OC, how the town could be at odds with the state of Maryland over bicycling on sidewalks.
Waking up to temperatures in the 50s and 60s, only a taste of what's to come in the days ahead. An absolutely terrific Tuesday, and then followed by a midweek masterpiece.
Marijuana moves, what Seaford could do tonight that would change the city's policy on the drug.
This is Coast TV News Today.
August 26, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Melissa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
It's 5:30 a.m. More students going back to school today
Yes.
in western Sussex County. And well, Chris has been telling us about these conditions. I think it's a tough day to return to the classroom.
I know, but the good thing is maybe you can do some classes outside. If you're a student athlete, this weather is much more bearable. I know from running cross country in the fall, some of those September days were pretty brutal. So Chris, I think anyone who wants to be outside after school for leisure or for sports will enjoy this weather.
Without question. Good morning, guys. It is beautiful out there this morning. Temperatures beginning away from the coast in the upper 50s. We're at 57 Long Neck. Cool spot there, Harrington 55. We're at 63 Georgetown and 59 in Gumboro. Milder along the coast near the water. We're at 71 Bethany to 71 in Rehoboth Beach. Winds are pretty calm, but we see that wind flow generally out of the north, that north to northwesterly flow. Dew points are in the 50s, so that's a sign that comfortable air is in place, and it's going to remain in place, all thanks to high pressure that's going to be building in across much of the east here over the next few days. There's the front that pushed through yesterday, so we're in for plenty of sunshine today. We still do have a moderate risk of rip currents in play, and we're going to continue that sunshine through midweek as we get a little taste of autumn to round out the month of August. So plenty of sunshine today along the coast. We're at 79 through Lewis and Rehoboth, 80 Dewey Beach, and we're looking at temperatures generally in the upper 70s from Bethany, Ocean City, in through Chincoteague with that wind flow out of the north, anywhere between about 10 to 20 miles an hour. Now, we still do have that moderate risk of rip currents as the seas begin to wind down. We'll have a low risk tomorrow. Coming up, we'll discuss, well, the beautiful stretch of weather continuing through the week, and that all-important Labor Day weekend forecast coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Lisa.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was taken into ICE custody Monday morning, and the Maryland construction worker was mistakenly deported to a notorious prison in El Salvador in March. He was returned to the U.S. in June to face human smuggling charges. He reunited with his family last week after his release from federal custody on parole Friday. According to his lawyer, Abrego Garcia was taken into ICE custody after an immigration check, and that was a part of his parole. The Trump administration announced over the weekend its intention to deport him to Uganda. They allege the 30-year-old married father is a danger to the community and an MS-13 gang member.
This issue is sparking conversations across the Eastern Shore. On Monday, U.S. Senator Angela Alsobrooks visited Wycomico County. The senator touched on the arrest of Pastor Daniel Fuentes Espinal in Easton, who's now home. She also talked about the county's intent to enter the 287G program that allows local law enforcement to work with ICE through the county jail. Also, Brooks says Wicomico County should proceed with caution, while County Executive Julie Giordano spoke on the efforts of her office.
We have a profound obligation to respect the humanity and the rights, the due process rights of people, of every person who's present in our communities.
One of my reasons of supporting it is that if we say, hey, we're standing with ICE and we understand, that they have a job to do as well, but this is how we want to do it in our county, and we hope that they would respect the local jurisdiction.
And Giordano says no agreement will finalize anytime soon. She confirmed that local law enforcement will not patrol the streets with ICE.
Happening today, Ocean City officials are set to discuss keeping bikes off the sidewalk, and here's the reason. Starting October 1st, the Maryland state will allow bikes to ride on the sidewalks, but the town of Ocean City is considering its own rule to negate that. According to the agenda, most of the sidewalks are narrow and too busy. The council will discuss this afternoon at 1 p.m.
An update this morning on the boil water advisory for parts of Ocean City. This is if you live in the town near 120th Street on the Bayside. According to officials, the water main break is now fixed. However, the advisory is still in effect until further notice, and this includes all water used for food prep, teeth brushing, ice making, and drinking. Again, this is until further notice. According to Ocean City, you can use the water for bathing and washing without boiling.
Happening tonight, the city of Seaford is moving closer to permitting retail adult use marijuana sales. The second reading of an amendment to Seaford Code on marijuana sales is scheduled during the city council meeting. It was just 2 years ago the city banned marijuana production and sales. Tonight's meeting is at 7 o'clock at the Seaford City Hall.
We have an update on Delmarva's beaches access. At last check, a number of communities have dialed back some restrictions. Ocean City is allowing surfing with a leash, bodyboarding, and wading only knee-deep. According to the Delaware Seashore State Park, all surf, fishing, drive-ons, they're now open. That includes the Seashore State Park and Fenwick Island State Park. However, Navy Crossing Drive, that's at Cape Henlopen State Park, that is still closed.
The President of the United States is firing a Federal Reserve governor for the first time in the Fed's 111-year history. At least he's trying to. Lisa Cook says she's going to keep doing the job until the courts decide if her termination is legal.
Yeah, as Amy Kiley shows us, it's too early to assess the full impact of the president's move.
When executives start to try and meddle with central bank independence, that comes at real cost.
Experts say President Donald Trump's unprecedented attempt to fire a Federal Reserve governor could affect average Americans. Lisa Cook's termination is likely to end up in court. Trump can only fire a Fed board member for cause, and Cook faces no legal charges. In a letter, he claims she, quote, may have made false statements on one or more mortgage agreements.
She and Jay Powell are holding the economy hostage by not cutting rates.
If Cook's seat becomes vacant, Trump can nominate her replacement. He's pressuring board members to cut interest rates beyond what they think is good for the economy. If he succeeds, the Fed would have less control over inflation.
If you have a job, if you have money saved, if you have children, any kind of commitment to this country doing well in the future, this should be of concern.
Investors do seem concerned based on overnight drops in stock futures and the U.S. dollar index. Those reflect retirement accounts and spending power. Beyond economics, analysts also see impacts from Trump's broader campaign to punish perceived enemies.
There's going to be many other people that he's going after as well, but I love it.
Critics say they're worried about how far he'll go.
What is the threat now to the average American?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Governor Matt Meyer has signed 11 new bills that claim to improve public health in Delaware. The big one is the Pre-Authorization Act. That's meant to cut down on insurance delays so patients can get care faster. Other new laws target prescription costs, boost mental health services, and protect health care workers.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. The president is ramping up his crackdown on crime, signing a series of executive orders. And new this morning, the move could mean a growing National Guard presence in more big cities. There are already troops armed on the streets of Washington, D.C. The president signing an executive order Monday tasking his defense secretary with creating specialized National Guard units to be trained and ready to help with domestic law enforcement. Chicago is potentially next in line. Chicago's mayor pointing to a 30% drop in murders, robberies, and shootings from last year, though the city is still averaging more than 1 killing a day, with 3 homicides and 27 people shot just this weekend.
Our communities need more federal resources for public safety. There's no question about that. But unsolicited, unwarranted military takeover is not needed.
We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do. Chicago desperately needs help.
Other executive orders include threatening to revoke federal funding from states that offer cashless bail and turning the burning of American flags.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Renovation Review will show you the progress at Milford Middle School as construction is coming to an end.
Also, winning record on the line after a rough start to the season. The Orioles are playing better, the latest in the effort to get over 500 for the month of August.
And Give Blood, Get a Brew will tell you how the Blood Bank of Delmarva is encouraging you to give blood during this blood emergency. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva. It is a beautiful start to our day. Nice and cool and comfortable. Dew points are in the 50s. Temperature 64 in Salisbury. We see that wind flow out of the northwest. Some areas away from the coast we're at 55. Harrington 59 in Milford, 59 Laurel to 57 in Long Neck. There's the cold front that passed through yesterday off the coast. High pressure is building in, and here's a look at all the 90-degree days we've had so far this year. 29. We had 27 last year. Average 27, and look at the latest we've seen a 90-degree day in Georgetown, October 9th, 2020 and 2007. So still plenty enough time to see some late heat here on Delmarva. But temperatures today 77 along the coast to 80 across the eastern shore and inland. So a gorgeous afternoon, and it gets even better through midweek. We'll talk more about that and that all-important holiday weekend forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Happening today, the Blood Bank of Delmarva is continuing its Blood for a Brew campaign with blood drives at breweries and coffee shops across the region. The Blood Bank says summer is typically a hard time for blood collection due to school breaks and vacations. This week, there are some upcoming drives where donors can help save lives while enjoying a local brew or coffee. Today, Dogfish Head Brewery will host a drive from noon to 6, and on Wednesday at Dogfish Head from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Friday, you can donate blood at Crooked Hammock in Lewis from noon to 5 o'clock.
The president of the Delaware Botanic Gardens at Pepper Creek said the board of directors has approved a 3-year strategic plan. The Botanic Gardens in Dagsboro has welcomed over 40,000 visitors since 2019. Their focus of this plan is to increase attendance through first-class experiences, brand awareness, and financial sustainability. And they say all are welcome to enjoy the 37 acres of nature they maintain in Dagsboro.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, everyone. Plenty of action on the diamond on Monday. Let's break it all down for you in a little early morning sports spread. The Boston Red Sox came to town for a series with the O's. Tomoyuki Sagano on the mound. He's been pitching well of late. The O's have won 5 straight when he starts. Well, Roman Anthony, he's not trying to hear any of that. He leads this ball game off with a solo shot, his 6th of the year, and the Sox lead it 1-0 early. Then, a couple batters later, let's flash some leather. Jarren Duran at the plate sends the ball into left field. Dylan Carlson charging and makes the sliding grab. Take another look at this play. Carlson taking away a surefire base hit from the speedy Duran. We go to the bottom of the second now. Colton Cowser, he's going to answer right back. A solo shot of his own ties the game at 1, his 12th of the year. But Cowser, yeah, he's just getting started, because in the very next inning, up at the plate with the bases loaded, and he's going to shoot a line drive into center field. 2 runs come around to score. Cowser went 3 for 4 on the night. But let's head to the top of the 5th. Duran back at the dish, 2 on, 1 out, and Duran, yeah, he's sending one out of the park. He blasts a homer to dead center to put the Red Sox ahead, and ahead for good, 4-3, and that would be your final score. The Sox take the opener in Baltimore. That'll do it for sports. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN, football preview kicks off at 8. That's followed by the field hockey preview at 9, soccer preview at 9:30, volleyball preview at 10, and then catch the final score at 10:30.
And it's time for entertainment news now. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
it's time.
The sing-along version of the smash hit K-pop Demon Hunters is now streaming. Plenty of people didn't wait for it to reach Netflix. A theatrical version reportedly sold out more than 1,000 screens on Saturday and Sunday, making it the #1 movie at the weekend box office. Guillermo del Toro has a new gig. The American Film Institute has named the Oscar-winning filmmaker guest artistic director for its AFI Fest, October 22nd through the 26th in Hollywood. The festival's opening night film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Jeremy Allen White as the boss.
There's no doubt about it.
Jennifer Lopez also has an upcoming honor. The performer is set to receive the Virtuoso Award at the SCAD Savannah Film Festival, November 1st at the Savannah College of Art and Design. She'll be lauded for her career, including her upcoming role in Kiss of the Spider-Woman, opening in theaters October 10th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at CoastTV.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, if you're having a rough week, hopefully this weather provides you with some relief because it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Mostly sunny skies today. Highs right around 80, and we get even cooler by tomorrow. We'll talk all about that as well as your Labor Day forecast when Coast TV News Today continues.
The time is now 5:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. Chris, you say that we have another day of low humidity, which is always a really good sign to hear, especially in late August when we're used to some pretty brutal temperatures.
Yeah, and we've been treated to some pretty nice conditions this August. We had a little hot stretch there mid-month, but it's been well below average, and yeah, we're seeing some really nice conditions out there. We're at 57 in Long Neck, 61 Ocean Pines, well into the mid to upper 50s away from the coast, 59 in Milford to 55 in Harrington. And with those clear skies, calm winds, it's allowing for temperatures to fall pretty nicely inland. And you see those dew points right now holding in the mid to upper 50s, and that is a sign of cool, drier air. And we're going to continue to see that cool Canadian air through midweek. We get a little spike in mugginess Friday, but then another front pushes through, and we're looking pretty dry and comfortable through the holiday weekend. We see clear skies through much of the East Coast. There's the cold front passed through yesterday. That's well off the eastern seaboard. High pressure building in from Canada, and that's going to push eastward here over the next few days. And with that high pressure in play, rain chances, well, they're going to be hard to come by. We'll see maybe some isolated showers or storms with the front late Thursday into Friday. Today, we're at 80 in Milford, 80 to Georgetown, 80 Lewis, 78 Easton, 80 Denton. Winds out of the northwest about 5 to 10, 80 in Princess Anne to 81 in Snow Hill. So there's the clear skies through the afternoon. Tonight, even cooler, falling into the lower to mid 50s. Sunshine continues into Wednesday, even cooler there for highs in the upper 70s. Then the coolest night of the week looks like Thursday morning. Some areas, maybe upper 40s, eastern shore, western portions of the county, and more 50s on the board there. And then by Thursday, we're near 80, and then that front pushes through. Looks like late Thursday through Friday could spawn maybe an isolated shower. So there's the setup really through midweek, mid to late week. High pressure is going to build in, pretty much push right over the area, keeping us nice and dry. Chincoteague 77 to 80 through Wednesday and Thursday. Aztec temperatures in the upper 70s as we make our way into Ocean City, 77 Wednesday to 75 Thursday. Low risk of weather occurrence Wednesday through the end of the week, so that is certainly good news. 78 in Fenwick Island. And as we make our way up to Lewis, we're at 78 Wednesday through 80 on Thursday, and then Rehoboth right in the upper 70s. So there's the front pushing through late Thursday through Friday. Again, not a whole lot of moisture with this front, but we're looking pretty dry through the start of the holiday weekend. We're at 80 today, an absolutely terrific day. 57 overnight under mostly clear skies, and 78 into our Wednesday. There's a look at your 7-day forecast. 81 on Friday. Most of the day, I think we're going to be sunny and dry. An isolated shower or storm can't be ruled out. And Labor Day weekend right now looking very nice with temperatures in the upper 70s.
Thank you, Chris. The new and improved Milford Middle School is just about ready to welcome students to school this year. Final touches in the construction process still happening.
But Coast TV photojournalist Matt Hipsman got a sneak peek inside the renovated historic building.
I would say probably 15 years ago or so, the Milford School District began looking at options because we are a growing community. And one of those options was to build a brand new school, start to finish, here on this campus. And the community were very clear that they still felt very emotionally connected to the original portions of the schools.
It has such a past, it has such a history in the community. Many of your Milford citizens went to high school here. Others went through it when it was a middle school. It was even partially an elementary school, Lakeview Elementary, for a while.
We've seen some significant growth in the last 5 years here with the addition of a lot of developments and things being built around the community just outside of town and things of that nature.
Our middle school and intermediate and secondary population has risen and rises about 100 students a year, which is a lot.
Right now, we're anticipating just over 500 students when we open on September the 2nd. The school will basically be occupied with the exception of the 3rd floor of the original building. And so that space will be reserved for our future growth. And the capacity of the building is 1,000 students. So we still have the ability to fit close to an additional 300 students into the school as our community continues to grow.
It's now 5:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day, look at this. Could be one of the Golden Girls on your screen. That is Blanche. This 6-year-old rescue clearly has a favorite show, and Blanche was submitted to us by her family in Salisbury.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yep, scan that QR code there, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:56. We're going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
And another pleasant day ahead of us today, Chris.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a spectacular day. We're beginning in the mid to upper 50s away from the coast. Plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. Highs reaching the upper 70s to right around the 80-degree mark. And then look at some of these overnight lows. Wednesday morning, mid to upper 50s, and then even by Thursday morning, lower 50s, maybe some of you upper 40s, maybe Eastern Shore. And we could see a late shower Thursday, possibly into Friday with a front, but we're going to be primarily dry here over the next really 7 to 10 days. And the holiday weekend beginning really nice, mostly sunny Saturday, 76, and we'll see partly cloudy skies through Sunday. Right now, remember we talked about that system potentially developing off the Carolinas Thursday. Right now, it looks like it's going to stay to our south and east, keeping us really sunny and dry through the start of next week.
Thank you, Chris. And coming up on our next hour, better at the beach. What state parks and coastal communities are reporting about their access for swimming and fishing? That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.